Hello YouTube, this is a continuation of my previous video. In case you're tuning into this video and haven't watched my previous one, I encourage you to go to my channel and do so. I also encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be covering politics, quote-unquote conspiracy theories, and alternative news generally on this channel from an anti-establishment, somewhat anarchistic, or you could say anarchistic in many cases, perspective. I had a previous YouTube channel that I closed down, TechJunkie92. See my previous video for more information on that. Some of you may have known me from that channel. But in any case, I want to get on with my rant about the Transportation Security Administration and the recent violations we've seen. It all started with the underwear bomber in December of 2009, where an individual by the name of Mutalib attempted to detonate a bomb that was in his underwear. Now, this paved the way for violations of civil liberties, the likes of which we have not seen since 9/11. In that they precipitated it, they caused the introduction of the body scanners, which are virtual strip searches and radiation exposure at airports. Incredibly dehumanizing, incredibly destructive. I discussed this at length, incredibly unjustified. I discussed this at length on my previous channel, but essentially, you should Google underwear bomber let on plane, and you should also Google underwear bomber let on plane by sharply dressed man, or underwear bomber let on plane without passport, and you should also Google body scanners would not have stopped underwear bomber, would not have detected underwear bomb, something along those lines, because the fact of the matter is, it would not have detected it. By one account, he was allowed to pass through the Netherlands airport, which already had them in place, and regardless, they would not have detected it by most expert indications. So the fact that that precipitated this massive liberty violation is absurd. There's also the fact that you're less likely to get killed by a terrorist attack than you are to get killed by lightning, and that's even if you accept the official stories with regard to all these alleged terrorist incidents. In addition, as that Google term I mentioned indicated, he was let on the plane. The attempted underwear bomb, the person who attempted to detonate a bomb in his underwear was let on the plane by a quote-unquote sharply dressed man, according to a witness. He was let on the plane without a passport. So that's just a brief summary. You can look into this further on your own. Now, after that, more recently, we had the molestation. We now, our government can now molest us at the airport, and we really have nothing that we can do about it. And if we refuse to fly, we face the, it's not enough that, it's not enough that they're selecting a fairly significant percentage of passengers to radiate and have a naked body scan, but now they're molesting us, and it's not enough that they deny us access to the flight if we refuse to be radiated, degraded, and molested. Now they prevent us from even leaving that airport. Not only can you not get on the flight, but you face the potential of a $10,000 fine if you leave the airport. Absolute insanity, wholly unjustified. You don't implement policy decisions on the basis of that have the potential to traumatize and negatively affect vast swaths of the population on a basis of rare occurrence occurrences, such as these alleged terrorist incidents, and furthermore, the official stories are frauds, just like 9/11. You can view Richard Gage's 2-hour lecture proving 9/11 the official story is an utter fraud at www.ae911truth.org/flashmov11.htm, or perhaps it's HTML. Again, it's www.ae911truth.org/flashmov11.htm, or you can just Google architects and engineers for 9/11 truth and find the website and Richard Gage's 2-hour lecture there. Again, conclusively proving the fraudulent nature of the official story behind 9/11. And then this was not enough for Janet Napolitano and Homeland Security. They figured now that Obama's in office, he's a kind face on the evisceration of our freedoms, so it's easier to push through because there's going to be less objection by virtue of the fact that some people tend to think that Obama is significantly different than Bush, which of course is demonstrably false. The latest seems like something every day. The latest is that they installed these screens in Walmart that have Janet Napolitano telling everyone at the register in this video that's standardized throughout countless Walmarts in the country now. When you go to pay for your items, you see Janet Napolitano's face telling you, beware of terrorist activity. Look around you for suspicious activity and report it immediately. This is part of the See Something, Say Something campaign that teaches us to be afraid of our fellow citizens and constantly paranoid, and teaches us to be subhuman robotic slaves. Now, of course, never mind the fact that there's, to my knowledge, never been a terrorist incident. Of course, crimes are now called terrorism. Never even been, any kind of substantial crime aside from, petty theft or etc. Nothing that could come remotely close to classifying as a terrorist act or an act that caused significant loss of life. Or any loss of life, to my knowledge, at a Walmart ever. Never mind that, because this has absolutely nothing the fuck to do with safety. It's all about control. It's all about dehumanization. It's all about the surveillance state. It's all about restricting you, controlling you, preventing you from being a human being. Now, so this is the latest. They're also installing, they also are set to roll out, I believe at the Super Bowl, this past Super Bowl, they had substantially more invasive procedures. They had huge banners that said, see something, say something, report suspicious activity, as if someone's already not going to report activity that's blatantly suspicious, and as if people who are going to commit a crime aren't going to be intelligent enough to avoid the scrutiny of others. So, if they're not intelligent enough by some miracle, or in the off chance that they're not, that the mythical individuals that allegedly commit terrorism that the U.S. funded in the 80s and happen to be pretty conspicuous at a public event, then people will report them. They don't need this in-your-face, be afraid of everything, be suspicious of your fellow human being in order to be safe from terrorism. It's all about degradation. It's all about enslavement. So there's the Super Bowl. There's also several government buildings are installing, I believe some are installing body scanners, others are just putting large posters and pamphlets to encourage you to be afraid of your fellow citizen. And the Walmart thing, again, it's just absolutely Orwellian to the core. I mean, the fact that this is like in in monarchies where you see the king's picture everywhere, except this is worse because she's telling you you can't avoid it. You go to the Walmart, you want to buy some food, you want to buy some household items, and you have to hear Homeland Security telling you to be afraid. And now we have the latest, and it is I refuse to fly now. I don't want to be molested or radiated or have them see a picture of my naked body. Just personal preference. I don't like molestation. I don't like to be traumatized, treated like I'm utter scum. But to each his own. If you like to be molested because or if you've been conditioned by this patriarchal society to that abuse is a normal thing if you're a female. Then to each his own. If you want to be molested, if you want to be degraded and treated as if you're not merely a potential terrorist, but essentially nothing, and to give the government the power over you to do something that you would be arrested for assault for if you did in public if you were anyone else, then to each his own. I'm of course being sarcastic. This is absolutely disgusting. We should not stand for it. So I've sworn off flying. I refuse to fly. I absolutely refuse to fly. This video, my battery is running low, so forgive me if this stops. But so I decided to take a train. Now these procedures are being rolled out gradually on trains. Trains that right now have no security virtually. They say they can randomly search your bags at the station, but I've never seen it occur. I've only ridden a train a few times, but I've never seen it occur to anyone. I've never seen anyone have their bags searched. So there's virtually no security on trains, and surprise, surprise, in the past several decades, to my knowledge, there has not been a terrorist incident on a train in the United States. Maybe because people tend to not be terrorists, contrary to what the government would have you believe. So they're expanding this, though. The first indications I see is the See Something, Say Something posters are now appearing in some Amtrak stations. And they now say that they did not do this, to my knowledge, at the train ride I just took, but they said that they can demand your ID to verify your identity. Never mind that when you purchased the tickets, your identity was already verified, but now they can ask for your ID to random people to verify their identity while you are sitting on the train. Not horrible. Okay, if you give them your ID, but it's an indication that they are gradually, incrementally spreading this completely unjustified civil liberty violations to everywhere. They have plans for these behavior detection devices where they scan your brain. This is no joke. Look it up. The TSA has a video on it. Before you enter various public events. They're already installing it at sports, in more invasive procedures at sports stadiums. They're putting the totalitarian telescreen-esque, 1984-esque announcements at the Walmarts. They are molesting you at airports, and they're setting up checkpoints on streets. A few now, for now. And now they're extending it to trains. So no matter where you go, you risk being molested or invasively screened by some government thug. Now, so, if I encourage those of you who say it's for terrorism, I can't reiterate all my extensive comments on my videos on my other channel about why it's unjustified. But I encourage you to look at Infowars.com, Google 9/11 Truth, and really research these topics before you come to me and say, it's for your own safety, we have rights in this country, it's a free country, all that cliche bullshit. Before you come to me with that, so I don't waste hours arguing, please do your research. Time is running out. Thanks for listening.